Hello, everyone. This is the introduction to Tree of Life Thothic Protocol. Actually, this is a remake of the video that I made previously a few years ago. This time I have an introduction connected to it, so it's a 2-video series instead of just one. I decided to redo it because I felt that it was important, an important process, and I could do it better. I could do it better in the video, making it more visual, more energetically connected. So that's what I did. And I feel good about the results, and I hope you will as well. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about it. First of all, the actual script for it, the text, was given to me by my Inner Planes mentor, Thoth Hara. I would say probably in the mid-1990s. And at the time, I felt it was especially powerful, but I didn't have a way to present it with the audio and the video quality that it really needed. The text itself is rather, well, I guess you'd call it alchemical. It's not easy to understand, and I don't really think it was intended for a person to easily understand it. What Thoth is showing me is that it's really intended as a energy transmission. When you listen to it, you don't try to, oh, now what does that mean? What does that mean as you're listening to it? You'll get all wrapped up in knots. Instead, you just receive it in your energy body. It's not mumbo jumbo. If you studied it, you'd get it. But the point is that you can do that later if you want to study it. In fact, I'm going to make sure that portal members have access to the transcript of it. But just reading it is not working either, because you need to hear it. You need to feel it. And with the added visuals, it allows it to seep rather deeply into your being. I've had music and everything, and it just kind of goes into your consciousness. So it's a protocol of energy. And you can work with this without watching the video. I would suggest that you watch the video more than once to feel it, to get it steeped into your being, or periodically, once in a while, if you feel guided to work with this protocol. Then you can take it outside the computer and do it out among the trees and, in nature, if you'd like, by taking the text and literally saying it out loud. This is the important thing, not just reading it in your mind. You can do that studying it, but for the protocol itself, it needs to be read aloud, or you watch this video. So as you do so, as you read it aloud, in the original text, I wrote about, oh, you can set the crystals here and do this and that. And you can do that. You can use crystals, circle yourself with crystals or whatever, put it in the Sephirothic pattern. But I think that's almost complicating it. And if you're going to have to set it up like that, how often are you really going to do it? So now Thoth is suggesting to me, why not just sit there in your environment, whether it's in front of your altar, out in the nature, or wherever you wish to sit, and visualize yourself in the center of a Sephirothic tree, right at the very center of it. I think that's Baina. You don't have to visualize it in great detail. Just present yourself as being there in the center. And then form a spiral of light around you. It's a crystalline light wave, and it's coming from the root chakra of your spine, where you're sitting in the center of the sephirothic tree, and you bring that energy up the spine through the crown, and then start twirling, swirling a spiral of crystalline light around you. This crystalline light spiral goes both up and down. You'll notice in the protocol that you start with from the spine to the crown, and then you go from the crown to the spine. That might seem backwards. You'd think you want to go the other way so that you end at the top instead of the bottom. But this is actually creating a communication from your natural earth being self, bringing it up through the crown, connecting it to the higher realms, and then bringing that higher sense self back down into embodiment and grounding it. But begin with the video, because I felt a very strong overlighting as I was speaking these words. So by the video is imparting to you, it's bringing into your being the activation, the electromagnetic response in the cells. It's a jump start. So watch it at least once, but possibly several times, or as I said, periodically if you're going to do an extended work with this protocol. And for those of you who are really wishing to activate within you the parts of your being that can become teachers of the spirit form for others. Of course, first, as you know, you have to embody it. And this is one way to begin to do that. And I believe it's a powerful way. Of course, I can only speak from my own sphere of reference. But in the over 50 years I've worked with Thoth and other ultra beings prior to him, I've come to recognize those particular transmissions that hold, I would say, the greatest power potential for the individual to incorporate into the being this higher resonance. If you are going to incorporate crystals in your activation, there are crystals given in the protocol. But if you don't have all those crystals, you can use others. Excuse me. You can use clear quartz, for instance. Herkimer diamond is especially good for this kind of thing. And the Andara crystal glass is very good for this kind of energy protocol. But if you're guided to use some other crystals, follow your guidance. So in conclusion, in conclusion to this intro, the purpose of the protocol, very specifically, is to bring from your energy body field, your connection to the earth and your elemental being, as well as all the other parts of your system, to bring that energy up into the higher state consciousness, to allow it to feed from that field, and then bring that energy back down through the chakras down to the root, like planting the tree. This allows you to be more fully present with all aspects of that path, as above, so below, and as below, so above. This is really crucial for anyone wishing to balance, stabilize, and be in a more fluid receipt of higher cosmic consciousness, if you will. But allowing that to be balanced and to be grounded so that you don't just go off into fairyland. You need to bring it into a resolution with the elemental being. And so now you may continue to the actual protocol video.